And welcome everyone to the PCS Like a Pro show. I'm your host, Megan Harless, as always, and I'm excited about the show we've got lined up today. Before we get into all of that, I just want to remind folks about Military One Source. I'm going to drop the links here in the comments for you all. On Military One Source, they've done a fantastic job, the Transcon team, of getting some handouts put together for easily digestible information. So they're called fact sheets. So there's fact sheets for all sorts of different things. So there's one for inconvenience claims, there's one for claims, one for preparing for your move. There's one about mold and what you need to do in those cases. So we're going to drop the link here. And if you scroll down a little bit, you will see where it says information, fact sheets, handouts, forms and fact sheets is what it is. But you can scroll down and they've got lots of good information there. Just to, kind of make it easier to understand the information that we sometimes need in a nice, clear, easily understandable way. So if you're planning your move or if you're trying to navigate through your claims, check out that link, scroll down where it says forms and fact sheets and find the one you need, and it can help walk you through whatever it is you're handling. So just a good another resource to have in your pocket there. So we're going to dive into today because I'm really excited and I know we've got a lot to talk about. Today with us, we have Verenice from MSAN, Military Spouse Advocacy Network. So Verenice, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Megan. I'm so excited. This is really, really cool to be able to chat with you and your audience and everyone else that is going to be watching us and listening to our chat today. It's very exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Can you just take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Definitely. So I am an Air Force spouse. Well, my husband retired a little bit over a year ago, and 22 years. And I'm excited to talk about PCS and about MSAN and the stuff that we do because it's so needed. We were talking right now about the information that we know that we need, but also the information that we don't know we need. And I went through so many PCSs, and every time it doesn't get easier. I mean, I think that you get a process in place, but every time you move is challenging because you're leaving everything behind and everyone behind, and you're starting all over again. And this is where MSAN comes in, where we are trying to provide that safe place where spouses can get peer-to-peer mentorship and support and education so that every time they move around, they don't feel that they're losing their community and the place where they belong, but help them to find that new place that will be their home and their new community. So I am the CEO and founder of Military Spouse Advocacy Network. We'll be talking about MSAN. And I started MSAN with the purpose of doing that, become the mentor that I wish I had when I became a military spouse. But I'm in San Antonio, Texas. And like I said, we retired and I miss it. But at the same time, I'm still part of it. So I haven't really gone completely. I'm still part of the community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Retirement is a place we all strive to get to. And so we're all a little bit jealous over here that we have a few more years to go until we get to join you in that club. But yeah, you're a big part of our community. So we're not letting you disappear and leave us. You're kind of stuck with us. It's kind of how it goes a little bit. So Military Spouse Advocacy Network. What is Military Spouse Advocacy Network? And what was your inspiration behind creating an organization like this?
Yes. Military Spouse Advocacy Network, like I said earlier, is focused in providing peer-to-peer mentorship to all military spouses. We have a big focus on brand new military spouses, the youngest generation, the new generation of the military, and trying to provide them that support that I wish I had when I was a brand new military spouse. A quick story, I had many changes. I'm an immigrant from Mexico, came to the United States when I was 16. So I left my home, my friends, my everything behind to come here. And when I got here, I had to learn a new language, and it was a different everything. And I felt out of place. And a few years later, I married my husband. At the moment he was in the Army, I became a new spouse. Once again, I felt that I had lost my community because I left everything again. And I was learning everything again. Then 9/11 happens, and my husband tells me, I'm transferring to the Air Force because I want to be a security forces dude. And I was like, what? So here I go again, a year later, becoming a brand new military spouse, and now in the Air Force, leaving everything again, learning something different. And I realized that every time this happened, I was feeling out of place. I was feeling isolated. I was feeling all these bad feelings except the good ones. I was missing that hand, that personal relationship with someone to tell me, this is what this is all about. This is a lifestyle. You're not alone. This is what we have for you. This is what is available to you. So I started volunteering here and there a little bit. And I realized, of course, that I wasn't the only one. We all go through that. We all wish we had someone to talk to. We had someone to mentor us. And I became a mentor. And I was doing it on my own. But it became so big and big and big where more spouses wanted to be mentored that I was kind of forced to start the MSAN back in 2014 with that fully purpose of providing that safe place for military spouses to come and ask for support and mentorship, receive education, and be linked to resources. The beauty about MSAN that is available 24/7. So there's always a mentor available to talk to a military spouse, regardless of every time we're about to PCS, what happens? It's 2, 3 in the morning, we're laying down, and instead of sleeping, we're thinking about this needs to happen and adding things to the to-do list and planning. And in your head, you're already creating this big picture of the things that you got to work on. But you don't have to do it on your own. I mean, that's why we provide you that peer-to-peer support and the training and courses and you name it. We have what we call a mentorship hub, and it's a virtual place where spouses can go and receive all the support that I'm talking about in just one place.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, I mean, we always try to, I think you said you're kind of forced to go into this. I think that's kind of how a lot of things happen for us, is that, things are kind of accidental, or we were kind of pushed because we did one thing or started something. And they're just like, oh, you're so good at this. Keep going. And you're just like, but I like to sleep and go out for lunch too. And it's like, suddenly you're not doing that because you're doing all of the things. I think for a lot of us advocates, a lot of times we think about those newer spouses, those newer families, and what do they not know that they should know? What do we wish we knew? And so being able to have something like this organization where we can get that support and get that help, because sometimes it can be intimidating going down the Google rabbit hole. You're trying to find a resource you need or trying to find an answer, or sometimes we don't know what office we need to call and ask on post, and we don't want to just randomly start calling ones, or we don't want to go walk in and for them to be like, oh, that's not here, you need to go somewhere else, and being completely lost on post. So what this organization is, I think, fills a big gap and a big hole that is so needed within our community. And I'm so excited that you were pushed to do this because we need it. So thank you for that. You talked some about the mentoring aspect that MSAN provides through your organization. Can you go into a little more detail about how does this mentoring piece works? If somebody needs some mentorship, how do they get involved or signed up, or if they wanted to be a mentor and they want to be able to share their knowledge and experience, how do they go about that side of it as well?
Yes, definitely. I mean, go to our website and there are buttons everywhere that says join our mentorship hub. And when you click there, it takes you to fill out a form. This form is just for us to get information ahead of time. When you join the hub, we know who's joining and what are the needs and what is it that you're looking for. So that when you join the hub, we know who's there and how to support you. So once you fill out the form, you get a link and you join the virtual hub. It's very similar. It kind of looks like a social media platform, but it's not social media. We don't get to see your personal life, or you don't share anything unless you want to share something in the hub. But the cool thing about it is that we have the option for private chatting. So if you want to talk to a mentor, just to ask a few questions, you can have the access to that private chat. Like I said, there's 24/7 assistance. So once you're in, you can create a profile, share about yourself, and you get to see who are all the mentors available in the hub. You get to see their profile, their bio, their expertise. You get to see everything about them. And this helps to build relationships between the mentor and the mentee, because you get to see that whoever's going to be your mentor has experience that you're looking for, you can relate to what they've been through, because that's exactly what you're going through. So there's that part of it inside the hub, that's how you get to request for a mentor. At the moment, we have a lot of mentees inside the hub, that are building relationships with each other. They're going through the courses, the trainings, the everything that we have in there. Not everybody is assigned to a mentor automatically unless you want one, but you do have the option to chat to a mentor even if you're not assigned to them. The cool thing about the mentor mentee is that you get to build relationships. There's no a limit time for a mentee and a mentor to be in a relationship. We have mentees that they come and ask for assistance, they get the support, and then they leave and they come back 2-3 months later saying, hey, I have another challenge. I need my mentor. And the mentor is there to provide the support. So it is a relationship that doesn't go away. And not because you don't need someone right away doesn't mean that you should not have one. So every time I talk to someone, I ask them, if you don't have a mentor, get one. Because you don't know when you're going to need one. And we don't know what we don't know. That because we don't think that we don't need nothing right now doesn't mean that we're not going to need it or we don't know about it. How many times have we talked to another spouse? They share research with us and we're like, what? We didn't know that. I've been around for like 20 years and I didn't know that existed. So sometimes because we don't know, we think we don't need it, but we need to be educated on what is available because you never know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as a mentor and mentee, you can be paired up with somebody that is your same branch as well. So it's not like an Air Force spouse giving advice to an Army spouse. You can match based on your branch to make sure you get your branch specific stuff correct.
Yeah, it can be an expertise, it can be on branch, it can be on location, it can be, I mean, we have mentor mentees that they meet virtually or they meet in person or you name it. But yeah, I mean, they are matched according to all of those things.
Yeah, no, that is so awesome. I just have to think back again to when I was a new spouse. Like I totally could have used this. Like the things I didn't know, the things that just happened. I'll share this story real quick. Is that our first PCS when we got to Fort Riley, we had just gotten married like 2 weeks-ish before we arrived to Fort Riley. And then like 2 weeks later, we had like a good chunk of change deposited into our bank account. And like, we didn't know what it was. We had no clue. I was just like, do you have a rich family member, honey, that we don't know about? And this is a wedding gift? Come to find out, it was like our DLA and our per diem and our hotel expenses from our PCS being reimbursed to us. But like, you know, a new 20-year-old spouse, like I had no idea like what it was. I was just like, did they over? And then like when we figured out it was like a military government pay, I was just like, did they overpay us? Like, this isn't ours. Like, we can't spend this. We can't do. And it's just like, no. Like, this actually is our money. You know, but just thinking back to that, like how much easier and better would it have been to have a program like this where I could have been like, hey, like, what is going on here? Like, what do I need to know in terms of this? You know, so yeah, the benefit is so there and so needed. You mentioned the hub previously that has a bunch of information in it where mentors, mentees, spouses can be able to connect together. Can you tell us what kind of information can spouses find in that hub to be able to help consolidate where they need to go to find what they need?
Definitely. We support military spouses on all the topics that you can think of. And the hub is now open to post 9/11 veteran spouses, retirees, caregivers, Gold Star spouses, and surviving spouses. And the purpose is to link into those resources. So we provide support on all topics that you can think of, on anything that you need. We have also advocates inside the hub. They focus at providing support on career and employment, on finance, on deployment, on everything, brand new spouse, education, caregivers. So pretty much all the main topics that we deal with and we face are exactly the topics that we have inside, but we cover everything. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that we do not overlap with any of the programs available through the Department of Defense, your installation, or any other nonprofit organizations. What we do, we have a vetting process where we bring nonprofits, DoD resources inside the hub, and those are the ones that we utilize to connect military spouses to. So everything that you see inside the hub is being vetted, and we have official collaborations. We do not overlap. We actually want to make sure that we focus on what is our mission, providing peer-to-peer support, while we bring that connection directly to the mentee. So we don't like to tell another spouse, oh, you know what, this is available to you. Good luck, go and research it. We do the research, we do the connection so that the spouse, all they got to do is just kind of like go directly. We become that bridge between the spouse, the resource, making sure that connection is not lost.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that you guys, you do that vetting and that stuff for us where we can go right to the hub and the information is right there. And that prevents us and saves us time having to go down that Google rabbit hole of finding out, like, is this a legit thing I'm looking at or is it not? And so, like, again, just the added benefit of also making it so much easier as well. You guys also MSAN does a lot of other types of programs. And things that you have as well. Recently, that started, I think, this most recent cohort of your leadership development course. Can you talk about that and some of those other things that MSAN also offers?
Yes, definitely. So before I get to the leadership development program, so that people can kind of picture MSAN, we have 3 pillars and we have 3 programs. What we have, the Resource Center, Virtual Resource Center, Peer-to-Peer Mentorship, and Leadership Development Program. When you have a brand new spouse or a spouse is feeling a little bit lost in trying to find out information, what we do, we bring them into the hub. They get all the resources, all the information they need virtually. And then after that, they have the option to get a peer to provide additional support. And at the end, they have the opportunity to apply for what is called the Military Spouse Leadership Development Program. It is a 4-month leadership training that we offer to 50 military spouses every year. We all know the military spouses. We are the ones that want to make a difference. They want to make things better. And we're always finding for ways to improve our community. But we expect spouses to make this happen because we are the backbone of the military, which is, thank you for saying that, but it brings a lot of responsibility, the expectation of others for us to make things happen. But they're not giving us the training that we need if they need us to become leaders in our community. So MSAN has this program that is a 4-month training, and 50 military spouses get the opportunity to earn a certificate from Harvard University and PLI in all leadership related, on communication, and how to talk to stakeholders. They also earn a 1-year credential from Sci-Hub on mental health and how to take care of yourselves and how to take care of others. So what the big picture of MSAN is that we are empowering military spouses by educating them on the resource center, providing them support peer-to-peer, and then providing them leadership training and empower them to now pay it forward, pay it to their community and become leaders in their community. So we are creating this spouse who was feeling isolated, alone, scared, full of questions. And at the end, we are creating future leaders in our community.
No, that is so awesome. And definitely something that, again, adds an added benefit to our community that MSAN gives to us. So I'm really excited to see that program grow bigger than what it already has. I know it's already grown so much in the short time that one has just been there. But I can't wait to see it grow even bigger and the good things that come from it. We talked about a lot of things today. Is there anything else that we should mention about MSAN that we have not already mentioned?
No, I think we have covered everything that MSAN is. And something that I would like to tell spouses is we want to make sure that we are proactive and not reactive. Military spouses, usually we are running on what I call reactive mode. It's always a crisis. There's always something going on. And every time that we ask for help is because we already find ourselves in predicaments. Let's not do that. Let's be proactive and ask for support and ask for help, even when you are having questions, because you don't want anything to escalate. Because then we find ourselves dealing with so much, and then everything hits us at once, feeling overwhelmed and isolated. And now we're dealing with bigger issues that probably a lot of them could have been prevented if you had someone to talk to, if you had the safe place where you could ask questions without being worried or feeling that you're going to get bullied or make fun of or anything like that. We have people that are trained to become your mentors. I mean, and that is something that MSAN does. When you become our volunteer, you receive official training from MSAN to become the mentor that the mentees need. We worry a lot for our volunteers. We provide them training. We provide them professional development training because we believe that the better that we equip our volunteers, the better service or the better support that we can provide to our mentees. So even when it comes to our own internal process, we are very serious about it. I mean, you go to trainings and interviews, and we all work on a daily basis to provide that support their spouses are needing.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a question here in the comments from Stacy, who's joining us, and she is asking, can seasoned spouses or retired spouses take part? And I assume, Stacy, you're asking about that leadership development course, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and if it's the becoming a mentor, yes, definitely you become a mentor. If you need a mentor, you can request a mentor as a seasoned spouse or retired spouse. And also the leadership development training is also open. This year we opened it to post 9/11 veteran spouses, retiree spouses, caregivers, Gold Star spouses, and surviving spouses. So all of the services that we provide are open to everybody.
Which is so awesome, because a lot of times we see that there's usually a community of our spouses that gets left out of something, whether it's our Reserve and National Guard spouses that sometimes don't have access to Military One Source, or our Coast Guard spouses that don't get access to that, or our retired spouses that get left out of something as well. And so knowing that you're opening it up to, the entire community, regardless of their season of life, regardless of what their branch may be, I think goes a long way to just showing how devoted you and your organization is to, being able to take care of just our spouse community in general. And that goes a long way of what is truly needed out there. For those watching that want to get involved and want to take part of what you're doing, where can they find you and how can they connect with you?
Definitely. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, so we could connect there. And on the Mentorship Hub, I'm active. Sometimes I'm posting and I'm getting to meet people. So join the Mentorship Hub. I'm also there, and I talk to people. If you need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm here to support everybody. And we have an amazing staff. We have an amazing group of volunteers. They're all military spouses. And by I mean by military spouses, it's not just active. It's like you say, National Guard, is reserves, is veteran spouses, is all those kind of categories. But we're all military spouses, regardless of whatever category they want to put in us. But in the mentorship, you're going to find all of us. We're all active. You can talk to any of us and find me on LinkedIn, go to our website and get more information.
Yeah, and I've got the link for the website and also the Facebook page is dropped in the comments for you. So y'all can just go click there, click the follow button, go join the hub and be a part of all the good things as well. As we wrap up today, I've got two questions that I like to ask every military spouse that I have on my show, because there's always something we can learn from each other. And so the first one I want to ask you is, do you have a favorite duty station and why was it your favorite?
Yes, mine was Montgomery, Alabama, Maxwell Air Force Base. It was the first installation that I got to see the real need of military families, and that was to see domestic violence, suicides. That was because my husband was security forces, so they were rotating on deployments every 6 months, and there was so much need, and there was not a lot of support for spouses. So that's when my volunteer and my mentorship and everything role kicked in and say, okay, this is where I'm needed. This is where I need to help. I need to help people. And we started creating programs, and MSAN was born. And so I have a special place in my heart for Maxwell Air Force Base, because we got to see the impact. We got to see the positive change at the installation because of the things that we were doing for the families that were in need of so much support. So that is a place where I started. That's where I was able to get my feet wet and be part of it and experiencing the need. So that was my favorite.
No, that's so good to hear. And then the last question I like to ask everybody on the show is, do you have a piece of advice that you would want to pass on to other military spouses?
Yes, to ask for help. Don't wait until you are at a point that you're not finding any more solutions and you're thinking that your only way out is to put everything behind in so many different ways. I was there, and I think that's the advice that I give to people. That's why I'm so focused about being proactive. Do not let all the challenges that we do, because the challenges are not going to go away. We can make them better. we can improve the processes, we can make things better, but challenges will always be there. So the best way that we can do is how we react towards those challenges and how we prepare for those challenges. And to me is asking for help, even when you think that you don't need it. Asking questions and asking mentorship and asking support and be connected to your community is not necessarily screaming for help because something is going on, but you are receiving that help that you need, even just a moral support, even just knowing that you know someone and you know they're going to be there if you need them.
Yes, no, absolutely. That is such good advice. And I know as our community, sometimes we struggle with being able to say, I need help. There's a lot of times where we feel like we have to do it all ourselves and we need to figure it out ourselves. And that's, just how it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to, happen. But it's okay to ask for help and you should ask for help. And so having that reminder is very appreciative because I think that's something we all need, a daily reminder, like it's okay to ask for help. And just even for us, when we see our friends and we see other people that may be going through tough times as well, whether it's a deployed spouse or preparing for a PCS or TDYs, whatever it could be that could be happening. A lot of times if we ask our friends, can I help you? Is there anything I can do? A lot of times it's, no, I'm fine. It's okay. Like we'll figure it out. One of the best practices I found is that you just don't give them the option. You just show up. You just, show up with a casserole for them, show up and say, hey, I'm watching your kids so you can go take a shower and help them, start a load of laundry or pick up the toys in the living room. Because a lot of times you say, how can I help? They're not going to, it's fine. I'm okay. I can handle it. But yeah, just definitely step in to help them. And then, as you said, ask for help. It's totally okay to ask for help and whatever it is.
I love that because that's the only way we're going to be able to change the stigma and the expectation that we help everyone, but we don't help ourselves. And just like on the plane, you have to wear your mask first before you can help others. So I love that, Megan. That was very good.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely some good wisdom and words of advice to wrap up today with is to ask for help. And that's why Military Spouse Advocacy Network exists, is to be able to help, those resources and that information. And, when we're left out there in military life trying to, flounder on the side of the road of, I don't know what resource I need, Military Spouse Advocacy Network, they've got it for you. And it's in their hub and you can connect with a mentor that can help you and talk you through what it is you need to know. So yes, thank you for being pushed into creating this organization and making it what it is and providing it for our community.
Yes, thank you. After many years of doing this, I'm glad that I was pushed into doing this too, because it's a best reward that you can have knowing that you are educating newer spouses and the younger generation that is going to take our place and will be advocating and will be making a difference in our community.
Yes, no, absolutely. And thank you, Verenice, for taking time out of your day to join us as well.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's always great to talk to you and get to talk about MSAN and hopefully we touch somebody's heart right now and their need of help, or they just want to get to know other people or find a safe community. Here we are to provide you that support and that safe community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And everybody else watching, thank you for taking time out of your days to join us as well. We're glad you're here. Join us again next week. We're going to have another great show for you. And until then, if you're in the middle of a PCS, fingers crossed it's going smoothly, you're not having issues. But if you are, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to help as best we can. And until then, y'all enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and make sure to take care of each other.